Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah.
And today we are tackling a region that's been making headlines for, well, over 70 years,
Yeah.
Jammu and Kashmir.
A long time.
And to help us really untangle this knotty conflict, we've got a fantastic special report from JK Insights.
Okay.
Think of it like a news segment, but one that really, really goes deep.
Deep dive.
So buckle up, folks, because we're about to uncover the history, the politics, and the human side of a struggle for self-determination.
And a story that bumps up against the limits of international law and really asks tough questions about the UN and,
Yeah.
human rights on a global scale.
Well, let's just set the scene first.
Sure.
Jammu and Kashmir, it sits right between India and Pakistan.
Right in the middle.
Not exactly the most peaceful neighborhood, huh?
Yeah. Hot spot for sure.
And to understand why this tension is still simmering, we got to go back.
Yeah.
Way back to 1947, partition of British India.
Yeah. Post-colonial struggles. This is where it really kicks off.
It's when things got messy.
The JK Insights report jumps right into it. With UN Resolution 47, passed in 1948.
47?
Yeah, basically trying to give the people of Jammu and Kashmir a voice,
It's a say in their future.
Yeah, a plebiscite, a vote to decide whether they wanted to join India or Pakistan or even go their own way, become independent.
Seems pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah.
Let the people decide.
You'd think so, but...
But here we are, decades later, and that resolution still hasn't been implemented.
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Why not?
Well, the report suggests that neither India nor Pakistan really followed through on withdrawing their forces from the region.
Right, a key condition for that plebiscite to happen.
Yeah.
And the report kind of points to this deep mistrust between India and Pakistan.
Makes sense to me.
Strategic calculations all playing a part.
Like, can't trust them, they can't trust us.
Yeah.
Stalemate.
And that stalled the entire process.
Totally.
Yeah.
And not only that, but this whole lack of enforcement, it sends a message, doesn't it?
About the UN.
Yeah, like, if resolutions can just be ignored, where does that leave the UN's authority?
Definitely weakens
Their ability to resolve conflict.
Undermines it, for sure.
Yeah.
Big implications, not just for Jammu and Kashmir, but
Yeah.
other disputes around the world.
Absolutely. And this isn't just, some political chess game.
Right.
We're talking about real people
Light is on the line.
caught in the crossfire. And the report, it really lays bare the human cost of this conflict.
It's a heavy read.
Hundreds of thousands of civilian casualties.
A devastating toll. And it keeps rising.
It's heartbreaking. And beyond the loss of life,
Yeah.
there's this whole other dimension of suffering.
Absolutely.
The report highlights the imprisonment of Kashmiri leaders, Yasin Malik, Shabir Shah.
Vocal advocates for Kashmiri rights.
Yeah, and they've been detained.
Often without clear charges.
Or due process.
Yeah, serious questions about freedom of speech.
And dissent.
Yeah, you can't just silence dissenting voices.
Exactly. And then there's India's move to revoke Article 370 in 2019.
It can move.
Huge. So Article 370, it granted Jammu and Kashmir this special autonomous status within India.
A certain degree of self-governance.
But by revoking it,
It's like flipping a switch.
India brought the region under its direct control.
Spark outrage.
Mass protests, wave of arrests.
A real turning point, I think.
It drew international attention.
And condemnation.
And then, in the aftermath, India imposed the world's longest internet shutdown in the region.
Wow.
No internet for months, can you imagine?
Isolation, control of information,
It's hard to even fathom.
it really is.
And with all this happening, it's no wonder there are growing calls for international intervention.
Right, people are demanding action.
Pressure on India to comply with those UN resolutions, address those human rights violations, and ultimately support the Kashmiri people's right to self-determination.
It's a powerful call.
It is. But
Yeah.
intervening in a situation like this, it's not a walk in the park.
It's a minefield.
It could escalate tensions, but it could also be a catalyst for dialogue,
Yeah.
a path towards a peaceful resolution.
History gives us examples of both success and failure when it comes to intervention.
Right. It's a tough call.
Not an easy one.
So we've covered a lot of ground here.
From history to the present,
From the UN to human
a
rights.
complex landscape.
And this report from JK Insights, it really does a great job of delving into all the nuances.
It's thought-provoking.
So I encourage everyone to take some time, really digest the information, and as you're processing everything, we want to leave you with one final question.
Okay, shoot.
Knowing what you know now about this decades-long conflict, what do you think are the most viable paths towards a peaceful resolution? And what role, if any, should the international community play?
Lots to ponder.
There are no easy answers, but this deep dive hopefully has given you the knowledge to start forming your own informed opinions.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.